Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Cory, and yes, in today's video, I'm gonna show you my September progress report or pen and ink review. Um, review. So if you're new here, I'm doing this every month, and it's not only for me but for some of my subscribers who are also eager to learn how does the pen and ink behave together. Because, by the way, thank you so much for watching my video for my September ink currently ink pens. It really was like a good one. Um analytics wise, thank you so much for supporting and watching my videos. And okay, enough rambling, and today just a small summary or recap. I have 5 inks, and one of them is my grail pen, as so to speak. This is the Momento Grande, no, not Grande, Momento Zero. The, what is this model? Angel Skin. So it's kind of a little bit weird angle, but I hope this will do. Yes, for the first pen, this is the custom 823. For most of you who know already, this is one of my favorite pen, and for the month of September, I put it back in rotation with the Diamine Oxblood, because as you can see, we are very much autumn here. Let me just zoom you in as I write my review. Okay, sorry for the still improving stamping skills here. I used the stamp to rate my ink level. So this is now, let's check it together. Perhaps, maybe, still I've inked it so much, like almost full. This is a piston fill. Oh no, vacuum or piston. And then it's still like 40% out of the full ink last month. So if you're curious, I rotate my pens across my journals, my planners, and yeah. So I'm just shading it until 40%. So there's my where I can find out at the end of the month my pen is already like used that much. So just for you to know, I always change my pens every month so that all my fountain pens will be used up in a year, but I don't repeat the combination. So that's for me to explore the inks and all these characteristics and whatnot. So first of our study here, or our report, is the ink level. Second is my rating, 10 out of 10 if perfect. And this combination, pen and ink combination, not only for the pen experience, I rate this as an 8. Okay, so this is the rate here and my notes. I just use the pen. Okay, so this is to me an 8 out of 10. Why? Because Diamine Oxblood paired up with the Pilot pen, it's kind of on the not so wet but not also that dry, so it's in the middle for me. And Pilot, this is an F nib. With Pilot, I always use an F. I prefer F nibs more than the EF or the broader side. I still have yet to explore a medium for Pilot. So I love this combination. This is on the finer side if you are new to Pilot, because this is a Japanese pen. So that's why I'm looking for a rather wet ink so that it would really write smoothly, even though it's on the thinner side. So yes, so this is the Pilot Custom 823. This is still on the 40% capacity, so I'm gonna use this carry on for my October pens. Okay, and then next on our list here is the Esterbrook Jr, the latte, pumpkin latte model, and this is last year's, I believe, launch. I really love the aesthetic of this pen, so I was looking to try out to pair this one with my Pelikan Smoky Quartz. So let's check the ink capacity. This is a cartridge converter, and yes, I believe this is the most used one. I love the combination, and let's just hope and pray that it would still write enough for our report. So this is almost like done, so I'm putting it here. We are down to 2%. Rating, I'd give this a 7 out of 10, just because this nib and this pen combination is way too wet. Okay, why it's not zooming, but as you can see, it's still wet at the moment, very wet, even though a few seconds already have passed. And to think this is an F nib and smoky quartz, I believe I find them very, I mean, the Pelikan ink onto the drier side. So I'm not sure, but my experience with the thinner nibs, that is too wet, this combination. So I give it a 7. And as you can see, I fairly evenly used my pens, and this one already is finished, the ink. So more ink is coming out as I write in layman's term, and this one is in F. So I would expect it if it's a medium or a bold one, but yeah, this is 7. I love this, don't get me wrong, because it's almost finished, but then again, it takes time to wait to dry. From the previous inks I've used, I don't believe that it's that long time to dry the ink. But overall, I love it, and you know, the ink characteristic is really showing here. Okay, the smoky quartz. It's a dark brown ink. Third pen on my list here is the Lamy Safari Terra. This is one of my favorite special edition Lamy, maybe 2022, because it has this black nib, not the usual Lamy, and I don't know if they are writing differently, and this is an EF. So the ink capacity now is maybe 20%. Reason why I'm checking it so that I know how much I've used up in that certain span. So this is still on 20. I've inked this up with a diamine ancient copper. Really matches the pen color. Yeah, if you can see that clearly, it's really this red orange bit, you know. So if you've seen my video when I inked them, when I shared my currently ink that's more showing. So this is just a progress report anyway. So I'm still gonna use this up. Like I mentioned, all my leftover pens, I'm using it in my morning pages like this. So this notebook is multicolored. Whatever leftover pens, I religiously finish them up in this morning pages journal that I just added last August. So I'm happy it's still working, and yeah, it helps my mind in the morning while having coffee. So that is where I dump all my ink leftovers. Moving on to our fourth pen is my newest addition, my Leonardo Momento Zero in angel skin with a rose gold trim. Now, since this is my very first time to use a Leonardo, I have realized that the EF on their steel nib is pretty much there is a feedback. So you see the ink also is still like 3/4, maybe 60%, because first I'm really very careful with this pen, and second is that since it's an EF, the ink flow, the ink coming out from it when you're writing, it's really less. So obviously it's an EF. And yes, it's still on. It's, by the way, inked up with diamine autumn oak. Okay, so all these autumny feel vibes are coming out every September. So this is still like on to the 60%. I'm obviously carrying this until this month. So this is, even though there is a feedback or scratchiness you can feel, it still writes so smooth. I mean, there is no hard start. Everything is really like, it's a very comfortable pen to use with my hand. With this one, I didn't post it that much because it feels heavy, and my hand is enough with this, and my index is resting nicely as I write. So I rate this up as a 8. So we have 2 8 contenders here. And now I'm surprised that as an EF, like as an Italian or a Western, or not an Asian Japanese pen nibs, sorry, this is really very thin. So I was thinking, like, on the safer side, I'd get an EF. I'm too scared to order the F, but yeah, so far I'm still in the middle of learning and working with this pen, and I really am not in the position to tell right now that it's a good or bad. To me, I'm still on the average, so I put it as an 8. Or maybe the ink that I used, but diamine is obviously a very good behaving ink. So this is a good combination. Imagine if I'm putting a drier ink here, then it's really more very thin and difficult to write. And also, even though the good thing with this is that even though there is, like, it's an EF, the, what do you call this, the ink characteristics is showing. Usually, see, you can see the shading of the ink. So usually if EF, it's really hard to see that. Okay, and last but not the least, in our September pen here is my Twsbi. And yes, this is another, like, oh, this is a vac fill, this is a piston fill Twsbi 580 ALR in nib is in F. and I have inked this up to match the pen aesthetically with the Urban Ombre de Bermain ink. So as you can see, it's close to finish, so let's just put it as 20%. Twsbi really has a great capacity, good capacity of ink. So I can still use this up again. So I think for this month, I haven't finished much of my ink except for the Esterbrook. So let's do it better for October, guys. I have to do and finish them off. So this is nothing really much to tell. Since this is a Twsbi F, the ink is really showing the beauty of this sunset yellow colored ink. I'm gonna rate this as 8 out of 10. Just because it's also like takes a while to dry. And sometimes, you know, the letters, maybe this is just me and the what do you call that, light ink shade, the letters are sometimes missing or skipping. So that is my pet peeve for lighter shade ink. They really like, I'm missing the A here, you know, or maybe it's my pressure on writing, but that's what I observe. So yeah. So lastly, let us rate and determine which which ink will be a pen is my favorite for the month of September. For you guys, what do you think? What is your favorite of among my lineup? To me, writing and smoothness and the overall experience, I guess for this month, I'd be honest, it's still my custom 823. Okay, in fine. I don't know, but this really is really like, it's on the workhorse side, but great for long-term writing as well. I know it's a huge pen for my hand, but that is where my comfort is. This pen, this Pilot Custom 823. I might, because it's also with a diamine, so I have to try my Leonardo with another ink next time. As well as this, I have to explore this Esterbrook Pumpkin Latte, which ink is the best combination, and this Twsbi. I believe with this type of pens, I would go to a darker shade of ink. So yeah, I'm not leaning to all this lighter shade because of that issue that I have. So let me know what is your favorite in the comment section if you are happy and also excited to see the progress report. And yes, I am also open to what is your suggestion of what ink to pair these kinds of pens. And I am also gonna do my October ink pens. Actually, they are already inked. I just have to film them. That is how I do my pens and inks every month. Every end of the month, I start with a new fresh batch. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you again on my next video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.